This is so dark. Oh, hey.
Anthony Edwards drops 49 on the Chicago Bulls head top, but Lonzo Ball gets re-signed by the Chicago Bulls. What does this mean for the rebuild? We're going to talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you, lovely and beautiful people, by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to the FanDuel.com to get started. Pat, we know we had a game today, but sometimes you don't have to start off with the game. We got to start off with this Lonzo Ball situation. Lonzo Ball signs a 2-year, $20 million contract with the Chicago Bulls. That's going to theoretically have him here for another 2 seasons after this. The last year of that deal is a player option. How you feeling, Pat?
One of two ways, right? Lonzo has looked great. Defensively, I think he's looked phenomenal. He's looked better than either of us expected him to look.
Mm-hmm.
You signed him to a $10 million deal, essentially 20 if he's healthy. Is it worth it for him to not have the certainty on health? That's the biggest question with Lonzo. Nobody questions his IQ. Nobody questions his ability when he's healthy. Nobody questions his defensive intensity. There's no questions about the player of Lonzo Ball. There are all the questions on, number one, what does this actually do for you? And number two, can you trust that this is not just another healthy stint that by the end of next season? Because here's the thing, playing out this year, going into next year, if he gets hurt in the second half of this year going into next year, now you've spent another useless $10 million. I wouldn't have made this move, and I've said this multiple times. I love how Lonzo has come back. I love how he's played. I cannot trust that Lonzo Ball will be a healthy player in the NBA because the history of Lonzo Ball has told me he will not. I hope this surgery works. I hope that he is a healthy player. I hope that I'm sitting here in a year telling y'all that Lonzo has played a healthy season, re-sign him, pick up his player option.
Here's the thing. I don't think any of that matters where we are right now. Like, we're not a team. Like, it's very different when we lost Lonzo the first time versus now. You lose Lonzo now, it opens up more minutes for young players. When he's on the court, we're a better team. This just is what it is. We're a much better team 100%. When Lonzo Ball is on the court. And here's what I'll say. Lonzo Ball on his new contract in the first year is going to be making $2.7 million more than Javon Carter. I think even if Lonzo gets hurt, we're going to get more positive games from Lonzo Ball than Javon Carter has over the years of the contract that we gave him. So I get what you're saying. The injury is always going to be a risk with Lonzo. That's always going to be there. But the only thing you can do, because that's unavoidable, the only thing you can do is insulate yourself as a franchise to, if it does, it's not killing your team. And I think at this point, like, they probably still won't play Lonzo back-to-backs. For at least maybe the start of next season, we'll see. Yeah. And I don't think even if Lonzo does go down with another major injury, okay, cool. We're going to keep our lottery pick that we're already, planning on keeping anyway to be bad. Like, this is the time where you want to do that. If the Bulls were more so this playoff team that we have been going on playoff runs or whatever it is, and we were betting on Lonzo to be something that helps us get over the top, that's where this deal doesn't help you. I think when you look at Lonzo and having young players that are developing that can't create their own shot yet. None of our young players can create their own shot except Kobe, and Io's starting to get a little bit better at that. But Matas doesn't create his own shot. P. Will definitely doesn't create his own shot. Julian, Dalen, none of these guys create their own shot. So being able to have a guy like Lonzo out there and Giddey for that matter, where you always have one or two of them on the court to help create for your young players while you're still evaluating, I can see why the Bulls look at that and say, all right, cool. Like, and if he goes down, it doesn't really hurt where your direction of your team going. Whereas last time he got hurt, it completely derailed the direction of your team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think that it's a direction move. I think that it is a insulate yourself move. You have to pay some people that are on this team. And by the way, side note, Michael Gardner, what a great joke. That's a phenomenal joke. A mobile game mob boss is
they need to bring back Mafia. They need to
bro, that's a great joke.
That's a great joke.
That's a great joke. I will clap it up for that. If you have a good joke in the chat, we will give you though. Most of y'all don't come with good jokes. But no, I think here's my thing though, right? Like direction wise, it seems like because of tonight, you're probably not moving Nikola Vucevic because of the Jimmy Butler trade that ends up happening. Seemed like the Warriors were kind of the leading candidate, and we'll talk about that for sure. But it seems like the Warriors were kind of that leading candidate. You're holding on to Vooch, you're holding on to Lonzo. Is your expectation that now all of a sudden that Matas is just the new Zach LaVine, and you're going to try and switch some new pieces here and hold on to Lonzo and continue to run this back? Because here's what I keep saying: Lonzo's too good of a player for you not to build your system with him as a major piece of it. He's better than Josh Giddey. There is zero questions about the reason Josh Giddey got so much time tonight, and he gets minutes, but it's because Lonzo's not there.
Here's the thing.
He's much better than Josh Giddey. There's no question about that.
I don't think you build anything with Lonzo in mind, because I think Lonzo's such a player that Lonzo can fit in anything. So I don't think you have to build anything around Lonzo.
If that's what we say.
Huh?
Lonzo can fit in anything. I mean, shout out to Lonzo.
That's crazy. Can fit in any system. I think with the way and his play style, he's a facilitator. He's a true point guard. He's fine out there taking shots that come to him naturally, but he's mainly out there to set up other people, play solid defense, and create open looks. So I don't think that I don't look at this.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you: is he the best point guard on the team when healthy? Is he the best point guard on the team
when fully healthy? Yeah.
If he's healthy, you can't not utilize him as that.
Well, yeah, you're utilize him as a point guard. That doesn't mean he's going to be starting.
Well, what I'm saying is you're putting your team at a detriment if you use him as what he's not. He literally is the best point guard on your team. You're re-signing him to a cheaper money deal. I agree with. Listen, I want to say this as well. The contract's not bad. It's a great contract by Arturas Karnisovas, a $10 million deal that is essentially what, 8% of your cap. It's a $10 million deal. There's a player option in the second year.
6.2%.
6.2%, right? So there's a player option in the second year of the contract. I love the contract for Lonzo. My thing is, he's such an important piece. If he is healthy, you can't then say, hey, go sit over there on the bench and just wait until we call on you.
Okay, but who said that they would, though? I don't get what point you're making with that. We know Lonzo's going to play when he's healthy. That's not a question because he helps everything. So why is that a negative?
And Lonzo is not something that works, though.
What's not something that works?
Are we letting Josh Giddey go? Is he gone?
No, there's several guard minutes. Lonzo Ball doesn't play just point guard when he's out there because of his facilitating. He even when we had the last version of the team before he went down. So it's not an either or. Teams have multiple point guards. They play together. Their minutes together are actually pretty good together. So I mean, yeah, you're going to overlap them. You're going to stagger them, but it's not an either or situation where you got to have either Lonzo or either Josh Giddey.
I feel like the minutes that you're playing Josh Giddey, Lonzo fits better, especially with the rotations that you're seeing out there. For me, I would rather see Lonzo get more of those minutes if he is on the team, if he is healthy. Giddey just, even like tonight, right? And we'll talk about the game tonight. Josh Giddey just doesn't fit in so many scenarios where maybe he is facilitating well, but he's getting cooked on the other end defensively on a consistent basis.
Yeah, but that's a separate conversation, though, Pat. You're getting into the knocks on Giddey, but that has nothing to do with re-signing Lonzo. Intertwined.
But my point is, if I have the best point guard on a great deal, but he's on the bench, because I have Josh Giddey signed to what probably will be more money than Lonzo Ball is going to make.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. That's not a great situation for you to be in as well.
I get that, but that doesn't matter because Lonzo at the end of the day is a player that you for all the things you just mentioned, he's probably still not going to play back-to-backs at the beginning of it. His time with Josh Giddey, they played 309 minutes together. They're plus 77 with a net rating of plus 12, an offensive rating of 121, and a defensive rating of 109. That shows you can play them together. So it's not about this thing, and I get where you're getting at, but it's not about either or with Lonzo or Josh Giddey. If you were signing Lonzo Ball to be your point guard of the future, even the present, it'll be a lot longer than basically a 1-year deal with we'll see in the second year. So I get what you're getting at as far as you want to see Lonzo more in those minutes. That's fine, but you're not always going to. You're probably going to see Lonzo more in clutch minutes, but the Bulls are still living in two worlds. Lonzo's somebody who can fit into any system. Josh Giddey's still the young player that they're hoping that they want to see while they're going to be bad anyway, what he can develop into.
But what you just said is the problem. You're trying to live in two worlds.
Well, I get it.
You're willing to move on from Zach
do.
LaVine, but you want to live in this world where Lonzo and Vooch are still a part of the team moving forward. You're willing to have the young point guard and Lonzo Ball on your team money-wise because you got a contract that worked, but also, are we just going to let Josh Giddey walk? Probably not. We're probably going to re-sign him. He's probably going to make more money than we think he should make. He's going to get paid more than P. Will because he has more of an impact than P. Will. So he's probably making $22 to $25 million a year. Like those are the things for me where it's like you're trying to live in two worlds. I get what you're saying about efficiency and all of these things. They're not leading to wins.
But they're not trying to win. That's the thing. This segment of the Bulls is not about wins. It's not about that, right? So I get what you're saying if you're for, and even then, teams nowadays have multiple point guards, Pat. Like this isn't a strange thing to say. Let's have multiple point guards.
Everyone's a point guard on this team. Kobe's a point guard. Io's a point guard.
Well, Io's more of a wing now than a point guard. But
we turned him into this. He played point coming into the league. We're all point guards.
But Zach LaVine was a point coming into the league. Does that mean he should be a point now? Like he's we got to get into the ad break. We got to get into the ad guard. We got to get into the ad break. So we're going to continue this conversation. We're also going to talk about the game at some point tonight. But first, we got to get into a message from Prize Picks. Basketball season is heating up, and there's no better way to get in on the action than Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With over 10 million members and billions in awarded winnings, Prize Picks makes it easy and fun to turn your sports knowledge into real money. Here's how it works. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks even has a free pick for the big game where Patrick Mahomes only needs to throw 1 yard to win. Pair that with one or more correct pick and you're cashing out. This week, I'm looking at the board and I'm selecting more for Jason Tatum on points and more for Luka Doncic on assists. The best part, Prize Picks keeps it simple. You can set your lineup in less than 60 seconds, and they're fast, secure withdrawals. I mean, you get paid quickly when you win. Plus, the Taco Tuesday promo gives you discounted player projections for even more value. Check out the promos tab to tell any of the super sweet Millie winners big game lineups. If you tell a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Point guards.
Point guards. We're talking point guards. But overall, I know we kind of left that one hanging. Anything left on the Lonzo Ball extension there, Pat?
Listen, it's so weird, right? Because it's not bad. I just don't think it's good for the Bulls. It bare bones, right? Let's talk about just Lonzo here. Lonzo Ball, when healthy, good player, good contract because of the injury concerns. $10 million, 6% of the cap, team option on the second year. He cooked. AK cooked. What's your goal? Is your goal to find a star here? Do you think you're going to find a star in the 10 to 12 range, which I think they actually may end up being in if they continue to win games here. And now tonight, if tonight's any indication, it's not going to be great. But the second half schedule for the Bulls, contrary to what last year was, is kind of more of a we'll give y'all a break. Y'all got cooked last year in the second half of the season. This season's a little more like, yeah, all right, competitive. Maybe they go 500 to finish out the season. I don't expect that either, but like more of a chance when you keep a lot of these players. On the flip side of all of that, though, is that Lonzo Ball is still going to contribute to this team, and I think that he is a veteran on this team that you need for when you have those young pieces. My biggest question is, are you getting the best young pieces on this team? I love Matas. I think that he's doing really well. I think, and we got to talk about the game because I feel like there was a little bit of a Ben Gordon situation going on tonight. Not going to lie to you. But I do think that Lonzo Ball is a big part of why you saw the 24 points, 10 for 10, 4 for 4 from the three-point line, because you look at a lot of those passes. Lonzo, hey, just go up to the rim. I'll get the ball to you. I think he's a Jason Kidd kind of PG with great defense. It's not a bad deal. I just don't know if it's good for the Bulls.
Okay, well, how's it? Everything you just said is good for the Bulls. So how's it bad for the Bulls? What's the bad in it? You asked the question. How's it good?
I think the bad for the Bulls is that you're not. Again, you said it right. You're trying to live in two worlds. You're trying to live in this.
No, I meant live in two worlds as far as you can have Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball, but I think the place that the Bulls are in right now, they're going to be bad. Lonzo Ball, like, you're going to have veterans on your team. There's going to be somebody with a $10 million contract on the Bulls roster. Why can't it be Lonzo Ball in this case?
I think for me, it goes back to the injury concerns. You're paying $10 million to somebody you don't know who's going to be on the court.
Yeah, but that's the same reason why salary cap.
It's the same reason why I said last year, yeah, but you can pay $10 million to someone who will be on the court. True. That's the difference. Like, but it's not like $10 million.
It doesn't precede you for. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't play. Javon Carter is making next year. Lonzo's going to make 9.3. Javon Carter's making. Hold on. Javon Carter's making 6.7. It doesn't play, doesn't contribute. So we're basically saying that it's a knock, and it to have somebody who's younger actually does contribute. For this is not a risk contract. But see,
let's not take a bad deal and say, well, this is a good deal because he makes just a little bit more than this guy.
You just laid out on the court on the reasons why it's a good deal all on the court.
I'm not saying Lonzo's deal is a bad deal. What I'm saying is Javon Carter's deal is a bad deal. Let's not compare it to a deal that we know is terrible.
But I'm saying that if we have I'm not comparing it to the deal, Pat. I'm saying that there are always players on every team that don't contribute, that give you can go to look at every team. There's a player that is getting paid at least $6 to $8 million that isn't contributing. You just laid out how Lonzo actually does contribute on the court, how he does help the young players on the court. It seems like more so, and this kind of gets back into the conversation we had when it was the Clint Capella thing. It's like you're more so upset at the lack of direction that you think the Bulls should be taking, which is a fair thing to say, but that has nothing to do with Lonzo's contract. That's nothing to do with Lonzo as a player.
It has to do with you holding on to this idea of a team that's going to work eventually.
But I don't think that that's what this is. That you could say that if it was it's a 1-year contract, basically, Pat. Like, it's not holding on to. It's getting a player that is helping the young guys.
Could you have possibly gotten assets that you could have turned into different players?
That for second round picks, yeah, but there's a higher probability that those second round picks don't help as much as Lonzo Ball helps.
There's a higher probability that Lonzo Ball will not be on the court by the time this contract actually has to play out than there is that.
And if that happens, it's only not 6% of your cap.
Which is great. I get you. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's not a bad contract for Zoe. It's a bad contract for the Bulls. Again, you see, this is the Bulls being the Bulls. You see what history has shown you, and you ignore that. You saw that the DeMar DeRozan,
because that's why they gave him a player option.
No. You saw that the DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, Lonzo Ball situation didn't work. You ran it back for 3 years waiting for Lonzo to get healthy. Lonzo finally got healthy. He showed you a few good games. He showed you half a season of good games. And you said, we're back in on Lonzo. Lonzo showed you 3 years of not being able to be on a basketball court. And one what we at, 40 game season?
Mm-hmm.
Got you fully back in on Lonzo Ball to re-sign him.
Yeah, and that's okay.
That's not smart.
But it's not a big risk either.
Learn from history, though.
Yeah, they are learning from history.
The history of Lonzo Ball's career tells you this probably will be a contract where you pay to someone who will not be on the court.
And I get that that is a risk, but that's why it's basically a 1-year deal.
I get the 1-year deal. And I keep saying this. It's not a bad deal NBA-wise. It's a bad deal because the Bulls should know better by now.
And I get that if it was about winning where we are now. Like, I get everything that you're saying if you're in the framework of this is a team that's trying to compete for something. This is a team that's in development mode. So even if you do lose Lonzo, all it is then, all right, bet next guy up, more minutes for the next guy. Like, it's not, I get it, there's always going to be a risk of Lonzo getting hurt, but it's not this hugely bad deal for the Chicago Bulls because, all right, well, we're going to just lose more? Okay, cool.
No, I think the thing is for me though, like, you're living in a half right, half wrong world, right? Not you, but like the Bulls. And this is what I mean by this. The best player on your team should play, right? Mm-hmm. The best player on your team should be a starter. Lonzo Ball should be the starter because I believe he's the best point guard on the Bulls. You can't go all in on Lonzo as a starter, though, because of the fear that he may not play. Because you have to put a lot of things in, scheme-wise, play-wise.
All right, hold on. We got to get off this conversation. You got to do another ad read. We didn't ran into the second ad read part. We still haven't talked about the game.
Hey, Hayes, listen, he got dropped off. Anthony Edwards dropped 49, and all of a sudden the Bulls wanted to play defense to make sure he didn't get 50. We're doing good. I will do this ad read, but I think this is a good conversation to have because it goes to the continuous problem that me and you have talked about. How long we've been doing the show, bro? 3 years.
3 years.
We're having the same conversations with different players. We're having the same conversation. Lonzo Ball's just the new conversation on the player that we got to have. But hey, I do got to tell you guys all about. You gonna hit the buttons or should I hit the buttons?
Let's you can hit the buttons.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure so we don't keep running this back. We got to tell you more. We'll move on from this. We gonna go into the game, or should we talk about the deadline at this point?
We'll go a little bit into the game because you got a theory on Matas that thing needs to be talked about.
Little game, little deadline, and then we'll get up out of here. But first, we got to tell you guys all about FanDuel. Listen, Super Bowl 59 is here, and one game, two teams, endless possibilities. There's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's just the icing on the cake. Download the app and head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
All right. This is your daily Josh Giddey. No, Lonzo Ball contract update. No, you know the part that is really going to be a crash out when they still sign Josh Giddey to a $25 million contract.
You know what? At this point, par for the course. Par for the course. I don't even know what to tell you.
But you had a theory about this game. I know we haven't got.
Nice?
Yeah, Brandon Ingram traded to the Toronto Raptors. So wait a second. They traded Pascal Siakam to then turn around and trade for a player that's similar in body makeup, play style, but a worse defender than Pascal Siakam.
And less healthy. Like, bro, what just happened?
Well, listen. Yeah, I don't know. I was about to try to rationalize it. There's no rationale there.
I would rather talk about Lonzo Ball's contract than trading for Brandon Ingram.
That's a risk that you're talking about. Like, what does that do? With where the Raptors are this season?
No, a first-round pick is crazy.
A first-round pick for Brandon
That's
Ingram, bro.
nuts. Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk. I was about to laugh. A first-round pick is nuts.
Maybe it's protected. We may get some more details on it here in a second.
Better be super protected. 1 through 28.
Basically, we're not in the finals. You're not getting the pick.
You ain't getting this pick if we're not in the finals, bro. Oh, God. That's terrible. All right, let's keep it going.
It's on you, bro. You got to get your theory on Matas Buzelis. That's what we get into.
We talk about the game, right? Okay. The Chicago Bulls tonight got Matas Buzelis in the starting lineup. First off, Anthony Edwards dropped 49. It was bad. A lot of it is on Matas. A lot of it is on Matas. Brother.
What?
Ask for help. Oh, yeah, he was guarding that, brother. Hey,
I thought they had
for help
most of the time.
But tonight felt like a weird night.
Yeah.
Felt like a night of, in the first half, coming off of a game where he scored 24 points, 10 for 10, 4 for 4 from the three-point line. Felt like a night of Matas Buzelis getting into the starting lineup and the starters going, hey, young blood, what you think, you gonna shoot this pill? And I don't know if people remember this, but when Derrick Rose first started cooking, and I mean like he came in, he's the number 1 overall pick. They're trying to slow play him and get him involved in the offense. Of course, Ben Gordon was the big scorer on the team. Kirk Heinrich's still there. All these pieces still there. And Derrick just trying to find out where he fits in. But he can't help but be great. I remember these games where Ben Gordon would just like, yeah, this ain't your ball, youngin'. I'm finna in and out for about 14 seconds of this shot clock, and I'm going to pull this thing. And if it goes in, it goes in. If it don't, it don't. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I want a 6th man of the year as a rookie, and you ain't do that. It felt a little bit like that for Matas in the first half. Now, in the second half, he started getting more shots. He started kind of just taking shots, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, different things like that. And I felt like it was more of a like, hey, man, they put me in the starting lineup. I'm taking this, which I love from Matas. But the first half definitely felt like, hey, young blood, you're not shooting this pill.
See, I get what you're getting at. That I just took it as he's starting power forward. The starting power forward gets 10 shots. That's just what we run. He got the same 10 shots. That's just the way that I look at it. I'm not saying that you're wrong on that. But that's just the way that I personally look at it. Like, our starting power forward typically gets 9 to 10 shots.
You know what? You know when I thought it was weird though? This is the only time I thought it was weird, right? When does Giddey normally shoot threes? Josh Giddey, by the way, took 3 threes.
He's been taking a lot more lately. He's been taking a lot more lately.
For sure. But where does he normally shoot his threes at?
Above the break.
Well, really on the corners, right? Short of 3.
I think it feels like he takes a lot right at the top of the arc, but maybe I'm tripping on that.
I think more so in the corner. Listen, here's my thing. Matas was open in the corner a lot today. He became kind of that P. Will role of like, I'm open in the corner, one more swing and I'm there. And I may be wrong on that, but definitely tonight there was one more swing and I'm there. Josh Giddey was just like, oh, I'm pulling this. Hey, you want to know what you're not getting? This 3. Like
you are right. 41% of Josh Giddey's shots come from the corner 3, which is 7. Wait a second.
No, that fully makes sense, bro. That fully makes sense. Because it's all.
But wait, this is what's even scary about it. So 30% of his shots are above the break. 41%, 70% of his shots are coming from 3-point line.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Who runs an offense like that?
Bro, you just argue with me that they're gonna re-sign this mug for good reason.
I know, listen, I'm not saying that to say that I want it to happen,
here,
but they're re-signing it.
We're not going back. We're not going back to that. Nah. That's my problem.
There's no reason why 70% of his shots should be coming from the 3. Like, I'm fine taking corner 3s. Take the corner 3s. It makes sense to take corner 3s if they're open.
And look, you want to know what I can't say? He's hitting them. He was 3 for 5 tonight.
Yeah, he shoots a good percentage of the quarter threes.
But it very much, it's the shortest distance, right? It's the easiest three to hit. It's all of the easy, right? All the reasons why you should take it. But bro, listen, here's my thing. It was very suspicious to me that all of a sudden he's pulling these threes from the top of the arc, from the wing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, dog. Like,
you got to play for that contract. Do you realize Lonzo Ball's our highest paid player now? Lonzo Ball is our highest paid player. $21 million.
12, right?
Huh?
Kobe makes 12.
Yeah, Lonzo makes $21 million.
Oh, you talk about right now.
Right now, Lonzo Ball, right like this season
I
thought
you were talking about extension. Yes, now, yes, Lonzo Ball's our highest. What's Vucevic?
$20 million even.
Dang, that's crazy. Nuts.
But anyway, yeah, Josh Giddey's like, I got to get that. That's why Ben Gordon did it. Remember, he was up for an extension after that season.
Well, listen,
this is common thing.
Yes, 100%. And he was like, y'all have to view me as important, and had a great playoff series.
Had an amazing playoff series.
But I just, if I was watching the game and I was like, are they freezing Matas out right now for going 10 for 10? Is that what's happening? And what I loved was in the second half of this game, Matas was driving to the rim. He was like, if this ball get in my hand, I'm taking it. That mentality, yet again, we talked about that yesterday. I love the mentality that Matas puts out there. I love how he thinks. I love how he plays the game, all of that stuff. But it was kind of wild to me watching the game tonight. Just like, is Giddey freezing this man out? And Kobe was like, I'm hitting tonight, so you get what you get.
Kobe didn't take that many shots tonight either. I was surprised. I expected Kobe to take a lot more shots than what he took tonight.
Kobe took, what did he take, 8 in the first half? What
Kobe only took 11 shots the whole game.
He took 6 in the first half. Kobe disappeared in the second half.
So,
but hey, man, it was a little weird to me. That's all I'm saying. Don't freeze my guy out.
I find that interesting. This is fun.
Hey,
but all right, last topic. Tomorrow, trade deadline goes down. Why are your pupils so dilated? What the fuck?
Bro, this light is so bright, bro. I had to switch the light. It's
Jesus,
so
bro.
incredibly bright, bro. There's a reason I'm wearing these glasses. I'm not a drug guy, right? Little drink, but I'm not a drug guy. This is insanely bright.
I don't know, bro.
Bro,
you trying to cover? What you take Adderall or something? You trying to cover up?
Who, me?
Yeah. Anyway, trade deadline goes down tomorrow, 2 p.m. Chicago time. Pat, how you feeling, brother?
Like nothing's gonna happen. We made our moves. P. Will's gonna be here. Lonzo's gonna be here. Vucevic's gonna be here. This is your team. This is your team moving forward. I'm glad that we moved on from the money that is Zach LaVine. I'm upset that we kind of are just standing pat. Like you literally said, we moved on from Zach. Yeah. Thank you.
They basically that, and they got the full control of their own picks back, and they're apparently happy with that.
Which is great if you're gonna get a top 5 pick.
Well, I will say this: the next 2 drafts are so deep that I'm fine as long as it is like in the top 10. But of course, it's better the higher that it is. So, you know what? We can't even say that. They've actually done better with lower picks than higher. Who knows with AK? You never know. Having a top 5 pick may be a curse.
Have that. Where are we at? Where are we at right now? Right? We got top 4. He was terrible. We got 18. He didn't play, and he's also not good. We got. Do we only have 3 first-round picks?
2. Oh, and Matas. Yeah,
we got 3.
Yeah, Matas Buzelis.
So 2 of his first-round picks are terrible, and 1 is good. No, he's not up. He's down. AK is down bad. And by the way, we're just in the high point of the one being good. This is his rookie year. We'll see what Matas is in 5 years. You know what I mean?
We shall see. We shall see. Any last thoughts, Pat, before we get up out of here?
Thank God I don't have to do this shot. This song again.
Yeah, yesterday you could tell that was the first time I was like, he wasn't prepared for the song.
I wasn't prepared for the song, bro.
I wasn't prepared. Yeah. Listen, most people didn't think we'd win going into that game anyway, so that is what it is.
Hold on. Before we get out of here, hold on. Not him. Hold on. False fry. Somebody move. Oh, there it is. Brother, you really want to do this on this show? That's the game you want to play on the show? Pat should not take his sunglasses off ever? My good man. That joke was about to be wild. Never mind. I'm going to let it go.
Remember
I was
where
about
we
to
are,
get fired.
Remember where we are.
I was about to get fired.
You just got back. Don't get fired. Don't get fired. Thank you guys for tuning in to Locked On Bulls. Remember the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. We're free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, and more. Amazon Fire TV, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Go Bulls. See red. Let's save Pat's job. Peace, y'all. That's crazy.
I was about to go to such a bad place.
And this local Chicago podcast lasted 3 weeks in his return to his job.